Pagans did not invent the Christmas tree. Decorating an evergreen tree to celebrate Christmas actually originates from the late medieval period. The practice was invented by Christians to celebrate Christmas, and it originates from the Upper Rhine regions of Alsace and what's now eastern France, and Baden, which is now part of western Germany. This was a heavily forested region, and especially forested with evergreen trees. It's not until the 1400s that direct evidence emerges for some sort of Christmas tree, specifically in the Upper Rhine city of Freiburg, where a guild of bakers reported seeing a tree decorated with apples, wafers, gingerbread, and tinsel in a local hospital in 1419. And throughout the 1400s, landowners in the Alsace region started to issue regulations stipulating the number and size of trees that you're allowed to cut down for Christmas. A 1431 law from the town of Adelsheim allows cutting down a pine tree as tall as 7 feet for Christmas, and a forestry regulation from Ammerschweier dating to 1448 specifically says that each citizen is only allowed to cut down 1 tree for Christmas, and it can't be any longer than 8 feet. And it's here in the 1400s that the practice seems to have rapidly spread outward from the Upper Rhine region. So our earliest direct evidence comes from the 1400s. But it's possible that this practice started in the 1300s, because historians have noticed that local landowners started passing forestry regulations permitting people to collect wood before or around Christmas. We have evidence of these regulations from the towns of Sundhofen and Bergheim from around 1300 and 1369 respectively. Apparently, people also tried to steal wood from these forests. According to a legal directive from the 1300s, the judge of Saint-Hippolyte, a town now located in France, ordered the forest to be guarded for 9 days, before and after Christmas. So we can infer that this law was an attempt to stop people from stealing wood from the local forests, not only during Christmas, but also the following festival of Epiphany. Now, these regulations from the 1300s don't mention why people were collecting wood. It's possible they were collecting it simply to burn it as firewood, but the fact that these regulations specifically mention Christmas leads some scholars to theorize that this wood collecting was part of a wider practice, possibly using evergreen branches to decorate their houses, but that's only an educated guess. Notice that I did not mention the Roman festival of Saturnalia, or the Norse sacred tree Yggdrasil, or the festival of Yule, and that's because there is absolutely no evidence that any of these things had anything to do with the origins of the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree does seem to originate from some sort of folk custom, but it's a huge leap to call this a pre-Christian folk custom. Our earliest evidence is 1419. Hundreds of years after the Christianization of the region, and the practice appears somewhat suddenly in history. There's no chain of evidence that could link this practice to the ancient world. Rather, it seems to have emerged from medieval Christian communities to celebrate a Christian holiday.